I don't know. Maybe we'll start like a health series or something here. I work with everyone, which means that sometimes I work with enhanced athletes. One of the most common problems I see with enhanced athletes, or actually not one of, the most common, the single most common problem, is high blood pressure. There's no excuse for this. Get yourself a blood pressure cuff. You can go pick one up at Walmart. Yes, my nose is bleeding. It bleeds all the time. You guys already know the story behind that. I don't understand why this isn't more common. I don't understand why guys aren't, taking care of their blood pressure. This is such an obvious thing. You know that having high blood pressure puts strain on your kidneys. You know that having high blood pressure puts strain on your heart. And I don't know why people aren't watching this. You can pick up a blood pressure cuff at Walmart for like $20. Start watching your blood pressure. Now, that being said, okay, some of the things that you need to pay attention to is the fact that, I know, I'm going to bleed. Your electrolytes matter, okay? So you need to get more magnesium, you need to get more potassium, stuff like that. It's just basic things that you already know you should be doing. Even the fact that maybe you should back off your dosage. I know, no one wants to hear that one, though. No one ever wants to hear that one. But those are things that matter. And the thing is, and this is the part that I really don't understand, guys will take a drug that they bought online or from some shady drug dealer, but yet then they're like, well, I don't want to take medication. It's like, what do you think you're already taking? So I don't know why people are reluctant to take blood pressure medication, but I'll throw this out there. So losartan, that's one of the blood pressure medications out there. It's an interesting one, especially if you're an athlete. It actually reduces the amount of scar tissue that you develop after injuries. Might be something to think about. So apparently this blood pressure medication also has other benefits. Telmisartan is I believe it's a PPAR gamma agonist, which means that it actually works very similar to another popular drug called Cardarine. It can improve your exercise performance. Propranolol is another one that apparently many people have expressed that they actually saw an improvement in their performance. Even lisinopril, some people notice that they have an improvement in their aerobic performance when taking these blood pressure medications. So blood pressure medication doesn't like magically ruin everything for you. It may actually be beneficial. But anyways, that's one of the things that I find to be very, very common. A lot of guys have issues with their blood pressure. And I think that blood pressure is something that is just, I don't understand why people overlook it. It's the silent killer. That being said, the other issue that you see is that guys have really elevated LDL levels and their HDL tends to go down. This is another thing that I don't understand why people don't take the time to address. I appreciate you don't want to take a statin, and I don't blame you. Statins are linked to all kinds of things like myalgia and muscle breakdown. But you have other options. Nattokinase actually apparently is very effective at lowering LDL, and it lowers your hematocrit, which is another thing that you'll see elevated in athletes who are enhanced. Citrus bergamot. Citrus bergamot is very effective at lowering your LDL. And then, of course, you can bring your HDL up just by putting in some healthy fats like some avocado or, olive oil. But take your pick. Just choose a healthy fat, not some kind of seed oil, but something like a monounsaturated fatty acids. Those are beneficial to you. Macadamia nuts, avocados, things like that. These are healthy fats. Having those in your diet will benefit you. And then, of course, fish oil, which I don't know why people are opposed to fish oil. Fish oil seems to block interleukin 11, which actually means that it increases muscle growth. How about that? So fish oil actually has some mild anabolic effect. And so if you take fish oil, in fact, actually, I'm not even a fan of taking fish oil, to be honest with you. I don't really like fish oil. Eat fish. Eat some sardines. I actually feel that fish oil is, it's an inferior choice, okay? Most of the time, it's rancid. It's been oxidized. It hasn't been stored and handled properly. So I think you're better off eating some sardines, okay? And this is my thing. Like, I've been pointing people out this for years now. Make a point to have some sardines, have some oysters, and have a serving of liver. One serving of liver a week is probably enough to maintain your B vitamins and your iron levels. Oysters, probably even just once a week is probably enough to maintain your zinc levels, okay? And then as far as sardines are concerned, that's my preference in terms of, which fish. You guys can have salmon if you can afford it. But, I try to get in sardines at least 2 to 3 times a week, okay? And I really feel that trying to supplement omega-3s is an inferior strategy to just simply reducing your intake of omega-6s. So if you're trying to improve your 3 to 6 ratio, you're better off just reducing your intake of 6s than you are trying to out-supplement it with 3s. Anyways, that's some things for you to consider. Like I said, blood pressure being the biggest one. Hematocrit gets elevated, lipids get skewed, and like I just pointed out, there's a whole bunch of really easy solutions. And if you're taking drugs, then why are you opposed to taking another drug, especially if it could have an ergogenic effect? So, telmisartan is very well tolerated by most people. Your cardiologist will likely be more than happy to prescribe that to you if you have high blood pressure. Same thing goes for losartan. Most cardiologists are very willing to prescribe those drugs whenever you present with high blood pressure. And as I pointed out, those drugs can improve your athletic performance. So if you're already taking, exogenous drugs, maybe, perhaps, you might take something that also benefits you in terms of health and performance. So, yeah, that's what I got for you. I hope it helps.